As we step into 2025, I want to share a simple yet profound idea with you. Work hard in silence. In a world dominated by endless notifications, constant updates, and a deep hunger for validation, silence is often mistaken for weakness or irrelevance. But let me tell you this, silence is a superpower. Why? Because it reflects confidence, it reflects clarity, it reflects a deep understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. Think about it. Noise is a distraction. It's an endless feedback loop that can keep you tethered to the opinions of others. But when you work quietly, something extraordinary happens. You gain focus. You begin to align your actions with your purpose, not with the applause. Great achievements are never built on noise. They're built on sweat, resilience, and the small, unnoticed efforts that compound over time. You don't need to shout about what you're building, because if it's truly great, the world will hear it without you saying a word. This year, let's redefine success. Let's focus not on what we're posting, but on what we're building. Let's make 2025 a year where our work speaks louder than any words ever could. When we think about the idea of working hard in silence, it's important to first ask ourselves why it matters. Why should we resist the urge to announce our goals to the world or seek immediate validation for our efforts? The answer lies in the essence of what motivates us to work hard in the first place. The drive to achieve comes from a deeply personal place, a place of meaning, purpose, and vision. It's about building something greater than ourselves, something that endures. When we focus on why we do what we do, it becomes clear that the value of our work doesn't come from the noise it generates, but from the impact it creates. Silence allows us to nurture that purpose without distraction. It keeps us grounded, enabling us to align our actions with our deeper intentions. The temptation to share every small milestone or to seek approval for every step can dilute our focus. When we work in silence, we protect the integrity of our vision, letting it evolve and mature organically. There's something profoundly powerful about keeping our why close to us, about letting it fuel us without external influences. It creates a sense of authenticity and resilience. It shifts the focus away from fleeting applause to the quiet satisfaction of knowing that we're moving forward for the right reasons. The deeper our connection to our purpose, the less we feel the need to explain or justify it. So, humility is a quiet strength that speaks volumes without uttering a word. It's not about diminishing your abilities or pretending to be less capable. It's about recognizing that the work you do, the goals you strive for, and the successes you achieve are part of a larger journey. When we embrace humility, we create space for growth, for learning, and for truly connecting with the essence of our efforts. Working hard in silence embodies this humility. It's the conscious decision to let your actions carry weight rather than your words. In a world where self-promotion often overshadows genuine achievement, humility offers a refreshing perspective. It shifts the focus from showcasing potential to proving it through consistent and meaningful work. Humility keeps us grounded. It reminds us that no matter how talented, skilled, or successful we may be, there's always more to learn and further to grow. It helps us avoid the trap of complacency that often comes with external validation. Instead of chasing accolades, we find satisfaction in the process itself, understanding that true excellence doesn't need a spotlight to shine. Through humility, we learn to celebrate progress over perfection, collaboration over competition, and service over recognition. It creates a mindset that values substance over show, encouraging us to put our energy into what truly matters, delivering value, creating impact, and making a difference. Noise, in all its forms, is a constant companion in today's world. From the endless scroll of social media to the barrage of opinions and expectations that surround us, it's easy to get caught up in a whirlwind of distractions. Noise demands our attention, pulling us in countless directions, often away from what truly matters. It's a subtle thief of focus, stealing the clarity and energy we need to pursue our goals. When we let noise dictate our priorities, we risk losing sight of our own purpose. The opinions of others, the craving for instant recognition, or the comparison game can cloud our judgment and dilute our efforts. Instead of working with intention, we find ourselves working for approval, chasing fleeting applause rather than meaningful progress. Noise creates a false urgency, urging us to respond to every comment, every trend, and every fleeting moment, leaving little room for deep, purposeful work. Silence, by contrast, is a sanctuary. It gives us the space to think clearly, to focus deeply, and to align our actions with our goals. When we tune out the noise, we reclaim our time and attention, channeling them into what truly matters. The absence of distraction allows us to dig deeper, to innovate, and to create work that isn't just good, but exceptional. In this silence, we find resilience. The ability to resist the pull of noise strengthens our discipline, enabling us to stay on course even when the world around us clamors for our attention. It's in this quiet determination that some of the most profound and impactful achievements are born. By shutting out the distractions, we create the conditions for success to take root and flourish. In a world that often celebrates outcomes more than the journey, it's easy to get caught up in seeking applause rather than focusing on the process. Applause is tempting. It feels good, it validates our efforts, and it offers a fleeting sense of achievement. But relying on applause as a motivator can be a dangerous trap. It shifts our focus from the work itself to the recognition we hope it will bring, making us more concerned with how we're perceived than with what we're actually building. The process, however, is where the real magic happens. It's in the daily grind, the moments of doubt, and the small incremental progress that growth takes place. The process is where we learn, adapt, and refine. It's where skills are honed, resilience is built, and creativity flourishes. Unlike applause, which is external and often short-lived, the process is deeply personal and enduring. It shapes us, not just as professionals, but as individuals. When we prioritize the process, we start to value effort over recognition and improvement over perfection. We become less concerned with how quickly we achieve a goal and more invested in how well we approach the journey. This shift in mindset not only leads to better outcomes, but also ensures that the work we produce is meaningful and sustainable. Focusing on the process requires patience and a willingness to embrace imperfection. It means showing up every day even when progress feels invisible or the finish line seems far away. It's about finding satisfaction in the act of doing, knowing that the journey itself is the reward. And in this commitment to the process, we often discover that the results, when they finally come, are far more fulfilling than any applause can ever be. Big achievements are rarely the result of a single monumental effort. Instead, they are built on the foundation of countless small actions taken consistently over time. These small actions may seem insignificant in isolation, but when compounded, they lead to extraordinary outcomes. It's the quiet power of steady, deliberate effort that transforms dreams into reality. Bupo, each small action is like planting a seed. On its own, it may not seem like much, but with time, care, and consistency, it grows into something remarkable. Progress often doesn't announce itself immediately. It's easy to overlook or undervalue the impact of small steps when the results aren't visible right away. But this is where the compounding effect works its magic. Each effort builds on the one before it, creating momentum and amplifying impact over time. Consistency is the key to unlocking this effect. It's not about perfection or grand gestures. It's about showing up day after day and committing to the work. Whether it's spending 15 minutes a day learning a new skill, making small improvements to a project, or practicing a habit that aligns with your goals, these actions accumulate. What feels manageable in the moment becomes transformative over weeks, months, and years. This principle applies to every aspect of life. In personal growth, relationships, careers, or health, small intentional actions compound to create profound change. It's the cumulative effect of these efforts that often separates those who achieve lasting success from those who don't. The beauty of this approach is that it's accessible to everyone. No matter how small the initial step, taking it sets the process in motion and reaches the benchmark of what you currently consider success. By focusing on these incremental actions and trusting the process, we harness the power of compound growth. The results may not come overnight, but they will come, and they will often exceed our expectations. Small actions, repeated with purpose, can lead to monumental shifts in our lives and work. In a world that often values appearances over substance, the temptation to broadcast every effort or seek constant validation is strong. But true impact doesn't need to be announced. It reveals itself in the results. Letting results speak for themselves is about shifting focus from external recognition to internal satisfaction, allowing the quality of your work to be your voice. When you let your results do the talking, you build credibility that goes beyond words. Actions and outcomes are far more powerful than promises or declarations. They reflect not just what you've accomplished, but the effort, discipline, and authenticity behind it. Results carry an undeniable weight. They're tangible proof of what you've achieved, not just what you've aspired to. This approach also cultivates respect. People are naturally drawn to those who demonstrate their capabilities through their work rather than through self-promotion. It builds trust because it shows that your priorities are rooted in delivering value rather than in seeking attention. Over time, this trust evolves into a reputation that speaks volumes about who you are and what you stand for. Allowing results to speak requires patience and self-assurance. It's about resisting the urge to seek instant gratification or to prove yourself prematurely. Instead, you channel that energy into refining your craft, improving your skills, and staying consistent in your efforts. It's an acknowledgement that lasting success isn't built on quick wins, but on meaningful contributions that stand the test of time. This mindset also brings a sense of freedom. By focusing on the work itself, rather than on how it will be received, you free yourself from the constant pressure to perform for an audience. It creates space for genuine creativity and innovation because the driving force isn't external approval, but an internal desire to excel. Letting results speak for themselves is a statement of quiet confidence. It's an understanding that true achievement doesn't need a megaphone. It shines brightly on its own, inspiring others and leaving a legacy that words alone could never achieve. Resilience in solitude is a strength that is often underestimated in a world so full of noise, connection, and distraction. Solitude offers a unique opportunity to face challenges with clarity and self-reliance, building a foundation of inner strength that isn't easily shaken by external circumstances. It is in these moments of quiet, away from the demands and opinions of others, that we discover what we're truly capable of. Being alone with our thoughts can be uncomfortable at times. It forces us to confront doubts, fears, and uncertainties that we might otherwise avoid. But it is precisely in these moments that resilience begins to take root. Solitude creates space for self-reflection, helping us understand our strengths and weaknesses more deeply. It encourages us to rely on our own judgment and to develop trust in our ability to navigate life's challenges. It means that, just as with individuals, we all require moral support when we feel lonely. Silence is one of the most underrated tools for unlocking creativity. In a world saturated with noise, constant notifications, endless conversations, and the pressure to always be on, silence offers a rare and invaluable space for the mind to breathe, wander, and explore. It's in silence that ideas have the room to form, take shape, and flourish. Creativity thrives in the absence of distractions. When the noise fades, our minds shift from reacting to external stimuli to exploring internal thoughts. Silence encourages introspection, enabling us to access the deeper layers of our imagination. It's here that we begin to connect seemingly unrelated ideas, draw inspiration from within, and develop solutions that are both innovative and meaningful. Silence also allows us to hear the whispers of intuition, the subtle insights and gut feelings that are often drowned out by the chaos of everyday life. These quiet moments of clarity can lead to breakthroughs that might never emerge in a noisy environment. By creating space for stillness, we open ourselves up to the possibility of original thought, free from the influence of external opinions or expectations. In silence, we find the patience to let ideas evolve. Creativity is rarely an instant spark. It's a process of nurturing thoughts, experimenting with possibilities, and refining concepts over time. Noise often pushes us toward quick conclusions, but silence allows us to linger in the uncertainty and curiosity that drive true innovation. It encourages us to ask deeper questions and to embrace the trial and irrational process without the pressure of external judgment. Silence also fosters a deeper connection with our environment. When we remove the distractions, we become more attuned to the details around us, the textures, patterns, and rhythms of the world that often go unnoticed. These observations can serve as powerful sources of inspiration, helping us see things from fresh perspectives and sparking new ideas. Most importantly, silence cultivates focus. Creativity demands our full attention, and silence provides the perfect conditions for that. It eliminates the mental clutter, allowing us to immerse ourselves fully in the task at hand. Whether it's painting, writing, designing, or problem solving, the quiet space we create becomes a sanctuary where our best work can emerge. Silence is not the absence of activity, but the presence of possibility. It's in the quiet moments, when the external world fades away, that the internal world comes alive, offering us the chance to create, imagine, and innovate without limits. Leadership through example is one of the most powerful and enduring forms of influence. It transcends words, commands, or titles, and instead inspires through actions that align with values and principles. People are more likely to follow a leader who demonstrates the behavior they wish to see, as actions resonate far more deeply than intentions or rhetoric. Leading by example fosters trust, respect, and a sense of authenticity that motivates others to do their best. When a leader embodies the qualities they expect from their team, whether it's dedication, integrity, empathy, or resilience, it sends a clear message that these values are not just ideals, but standards to live by. It shows that the leader is willing to hold themselves to the same expectations they set for others. This alignment between words and actions creates a culture of accountability and mutual respect, where people are inspired to rise to the occasion rather than feeling pressured or coerced. So, leading through example also builds credibility. It's easy to tell others what to do, but doing it yourself demonstrates a deeper commitment and understanding. People are more likely to trust a leader who has walked the path they're asking others to follow. This trust becomes the foundation for strong, cohesive teams that are willing to go the extra mile because they believe in both the mission and the person leading them. Leadership through example has a ripple effect. When team members see their leader embodying positive behaviors, they're more likely to adopt those behaviors themselves. This creates a culture of excellence where high standards are maintained not because they're enforced, but because they're inspired. A leader's actions set the tone, shaping the attitudes and practices of the entire group. This approach to leadership also fosters empathy and understanding. By actively engaging in the work and facing the same challenges as their team, leaders gain a first-hand perspective of what it takes to succeed. This insight allows them to provide better support, make informed decisions, and address issues in a way that feels fair and grounded. It bridges the gap between leader and team, creating a sense of shared purpose and collaboration. Leadership through example is about authenticity and consistency. It's about showing up every day as a reflection of the values and vision you want to instill in others. It's not about being perfect, but about being intentional. Demonstrating through your actions that leadership is not a position of privilege, but a responsibility to inspire, guide, and empower those around you. As we step into 2025, it's clear that the traditional notions of success are no longer enough. In a world that is rapidly changing, marked by technological advancements, shifting societal values, and global challenges, the way we define success must evolve as well. The old metrics of wealth, status, and achievement no longer capture the full spectrum of what it means to live a successful life. This is a year to redefine success on our own terms, guided by purpose, impact, and personal fulfillment. About enough? Here we go. Success has often been equated with outward accomplishments, titles, financial milestones, recognition from others. But this approach can leave us feeling empty if the underlying values don't align with our true selves. In 2025, Success must be viewed holistically. It's about the quality of relationships we build, the contributions we make to our communities, and the impact we have on the world around us. It's about creating value that extends beyond profit and positions and instead focuses on making a meaningful difference in the lives of others. Redefining success also means acknowledging that growth is not linear. We live in a world that is full of uncertainty, where setbacks, challenges, and failures are part of the journey. Success in 2025 is not about avoiding difficulties, but about developing the resilience to navigate them. It's about learning from mistakes, pivoting when necessary, and continuing to move forward with purpose, even in the face of adversity. This year, success should be measured by the level of alignment between what we do and who we are. It's about ensuring that our actions reflect our values and that we're building lives that are both fulfilling and sustainable. For many, this may mean taking a step back to reassess priorities, rethinking what truly matters, and recalibrating the goals we're chasing. Success in this new framework isn't about meeting external expectations, but about crafting a life that feels rich with purpose, connection, and growth. In 2025, we must also broaden the definition of success to include personal well-being. Mental and physical health, emotional intelligence, and the ability to find balance are just as important as career achievements or financial stability. True success is being able to thrive in all aspects of life, not merely survive in one area while neglecting others. Success is about harmony, achieving balance in work, relationships, self-care, and personal growth. The success of 2025 is driven by innovation, creativity, and the courage to challenge the status quo. It's about pushing boundaries, exploring new ways of thinking, and being willing to disrupt old patterns. Success today is not just about following the path laid out before us. It's about forging our own way, breaking through limitations, and embracing the potential for transformation. Success in 2025 is also about sustainability, making choices that not only benefit us, but the generations to come. It's about recognizing the long-term impact of our decisions, whether they pertain to the environment, social issues, or business practices. And the most successful individuals and organizations will be those who prioritize ethical practices, environmental stewardship, and community welfare, understanding that success in this new era is about ensuring that future generations have the opportunity to thrive as well. 2025 presents a unique opportunity to redefine success from the inside out. It's not about chasing external accolades, but about aligning our actions with a deeper sense of purpose and well-being. Success is about creating a life that feels authentic, fulfilling, and meaningful, not just to us, but to those around us. It's time to embrace a more inclusive, sustainable, and impactful vision of success, one that reflects the complexity and interconnectedness of the world we live in. As we move into 2025, there is a powerful shift in how we view work, success, and personal growth. It's a year to focus on the deeper reasons behind our actions, to embrace humility, and to recognize that the loudest voices aren't always the most effective. True leadership and success come from the quiet commitment to the process, from valuing the journey over the destination, and from allowing the results of our hard work to speak for themselves. At the heart of this transformation is the importance of starting with why. Understanding the deeper purpose behind our actions gives them meaning and direction. When we know why we are working, pushing boundaries, or striving toward a goal, we can avoid getting lost in distractions or temporary setbacks. Our why becomes the anchor that keeps us grounded through the inevitable challenges that arise. How, why, is when you read the why is the internal motivation that keeps us moving forward, even when external circumstances might pull us in different directions. This deeper understanding allows us to remain focused on what truly matters, not on the noise that surrounds us. Noise in all its forms is a persistent force in today's world. It takes the shape of constant distractions, opinions, and external pressures that make it harder to stay focused on our purpose. Whether it's the allure of social media, the pressure to constantly achieve, or the desire for validation, noise can obscure our true goals. But in silence, we find the clarity needed to focus, to innovate, and to make decisions that are aligned with our core values. When we can silence the noise, we create space for deeper thought, for personal reflection, and for work that is both meaningful and intentional. The second stage of growth that this work covers is the growth stage. As we focus on silence and intention, it becomes clear that the real power lies in the process, not the applause. It's easy to get caught up in the desire for external recognition, but true success comes from a commitment to the work itself, not to the validation that follows. The process is where we grow, where we refine our skills, and where we shape our future. When we prioritize the process over the applause, we remove the pressure of performing for others and instead focus on performing for ourselves. This creates an authentic sense of accomplishment, grounded in our own dedication and effort, not in the approval of others. Alongside this, we must embrace the compounding effect of small actions. Every significant achievement starts with a single step, and the true power of that step lies in its consistency. Small actions, repeated over time, create exponential growth. Every choice we make, every effort we put forth, builds upon the last. The work that may seem trivial today has the potential to create massive results over time. By embracing this process, we learn to be patient with ourselves, trusting that the compound effect will lead to meaningful outcomes, even if we can't always see the results immediately. 2025 is the year to redefine success. The metrics of success that once dominated our culture, money, status, recognition, are no longer enough to define a meaningful life. In this new era, success is measured by how well we live in alignment with our values, how deeply we connect with others, and the impact we have on the world around us. Success is about sustainability, about making choices that not only benefit us, but contribute to a larger, more inclusive vision for the future. It's about balancing ambition with well-being and pursuing goals that reflect a deeper purpose. In 2025, we have the opportunity to create a new definition of success, one that is rooted in integrity, growth, and impact, not just in personal gain. Quiet focus fosters clarity. When we are constantly jumping from one task to another, bombarded by social media, notifications, and constant demands on our attention, we lose sight of the bigger picture. We may get caught in the cycle of productivity for the sake of productivity. But in silence, we can hear our own thoughts clearly, and that's where clarity resides. It's in those quiet moments where we begin to align our actions with our values and our deepest desires. The power of quiet focus isn't just about working in isolation, it's about reclaiming control over our time, energy, and attention. It's about resisting the pull of constant stimulation and choosing instead to invest in our growth. It's about being fully present in our work, whether that's refining a skill, making progress on a project, or nurturing a relationship. The results may not be immediate, and the recognition may not come right away, but this kind of work is always laying the groundwork for something lasting. This kind of focus also builds resilience. When we immerse ourselves in deep, uninterrupted work, we build our capacity to persevere through challenges. The more we commit to working quietly, without seeking constant reassurance, the more we cultivate patience and trust in the process. We learn to endure the long hours, the mistakes, and the failures, because we are not swayed by external pressures. Our energy becomes directed inward, and we begin to realize that true progress comes from staying the course, even when no one is watching. Description: quiet focus is a choice. It's the decision to prioritize what matters most over what is immediately gratifying. In a world where everything seems urgent, working in silence provides the rare space to nurture our deepest passions and ambitions. It's in these moments of quiet that we can truly become the best versions of ourselves. In a world where everyone seems to have an opinion and the noise of social media encourages constant self-promotion, it can be tempting to rely on words to gain recognition or approval. We often seek validation through the things we say, hoping to convince others of our value, our capabilities, or our vision. Yet there's a quiet power in letting results speak for themselves, something far more profound than any carefully crafted statement or flashy boast. When we focus on the work itself, we shift our attention from seeking acknowledgement to creating something that naturally commands respect and admiration. Results are the ultimate proof of our effort, our dedication, and our intelligence. Words, no matter how eloquent or persuasive, only go so far. They may be heard, but they do not leave a lasting impact. Results, on the other hand, stand the test of time. They create real change, solve problems, and shape the future in ways words never can. Actions are irrefutable. When we produce results, we show the world what we are capable of, without needing to explain ourselves. The evidence is clear, tangible, and undeniable. People are more likely to believe what they see than what they hear. Our actions carry far more weight than our intentions. This is why the most successful people and organizations don't waste time talking about their plans, they simply execute them. They know that their actions will communicate their capabilities far more effectively than any speech or declaration ever could. In fact, the less they speak about their work, the more their work speaks for them. The more their work speaks for them, sustainable relationships are much easier to maintain. Their results become their legacy, their reputation, and their brand. When we let results speak, we cultivate a deeper sense of confidence. Rather than constantly needing to explain ourselves or defend our choices, we trust in the value of the work we are doing. We stop worrying about external opinions and instead focus on creating something of substance. The pursuit of real results requires us to be patient, diligent, and disciplined. It's a quieter, more introspective form of success, one that's built on quiet persistence and a deep belief that what we do is more important than what we say. Letting results speak also means letting go of the need to be constantly visible or in the spotlight. In a world obsessed with instant gratification and surface-level achievements, the people who quietly work behind the scenes are often the ones who achieve the most lasting success. They don't need the world to notice their every move. They trust that the results will eventually show up, and when they do, they'll do all the talking. In many ways, letting results speak is a form of self-discipline. It's the choice to focus on what is important rather than what is convenient or easy. It's about choosing consistency over short-term recognition and impact over empty promises. It's a shift away from seeking applause to creating something of real worth that will resonate long after the initial moment of achievement, at the expense of worthless things. It's a shift away from seeking applause to creating something of real worth that will resonate long after the initial moment of achievement. This approach requires patience, but it also nurtures humility. The pursuit of results, without the need for constant validation, reminds us that success is not about impressing others, it's about making a difference. When we work in this way, we no longer feel the need to justify ourselves or seek constant confirmation. Our results justify our efforts. They prove that we are capable, that we are committed, and that we have the vision and tenacity to see things through to completion. A network error occurred. Trusting the process is one of the most fundamental, yet challenging aspects of personal and professional growth. In an era where instant gratification is the norm, it's difficult to appreciate the true value of patience, persistence, and the gradual unfolding of progress. Yet, it is in this slow and steady progression that the deepest transformations occur. Trusting the process means letting go of the need for immediate results and embracing the discomfort of not knowing exactly when or how things will come together. When we trust the process, we commit ourselves to the long-term journey rather than the fleeting moments of success. The path is rarely linear. It is often filled with setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. These hurdles are not obstacles, but integral parts of the journey that refine and strengthen us. If we can learn to embrace these moments instead of fighting against them, we start to see that they are the very building blocks of success. The process is often slow, and that can feel discouraging. There will be times when we wonder if what we're doing even matters or if we're making any real progress. The key is to remember that growth happens in layers. It's not always visible, and it's not always immediate. Sometimes it takes months or even years of seemingly small actions before we start to see the compound effect of our efforts. But trusting the process doesn't mean waiting passively for things to happen. It's an active trust. where we continue to show up, put in the work, and focus on getting better, regardless of how quickly the results appear. It's about being disciplined, staying consistent, and recognizing that every small effort contributes to something much larger than we can often see in the moment. When we trust the process, we stop measuring ourselves against others. There's a tendency to compare our journey with someone else's, especially in a world where everyone's achievements seem so publicly visible. However, true growth comes from understanding that our path is unique. We may not always be where we want to be, but every experience, every challenge, and every step forward has meaning. It's also important to recognize that trusting the process doesn't mean accepting complacency or mediocrity. It's about showing up with intentionality, doing the work with purpose, and continuously improving along the way. Trusting the process requires discipline and a long-term vision. We need to keep our eyes on the horizon, not fixate on every minor setback, knowing that the fruits of our labor will come if we continue moving forward. And while the process can be hard, it's also where resilience is built. The process teaches us that success isn't something that happens overnight. It's not a magic formula or a quick fix. It's earned through consistency, effort, and the willingness to face adversity head-on. Every failure and mistake we encounter along the way isn't a sign that we're on the wrong path, but a valuable lesson that strengthens our ability to navigate future challenges. Trusting the process also requires humility. It's about accepting that not everything is in our control and that there are factors beyond our influence. We can't rush things or force results to appear before their time. Instead, we need to allow space for growth, even if it means stepping back and letting things unfold naturally. The process, in its own time, will lead us exactly where we need to be. You will hear this line again in your own life. The process, the more we align ourselves with this truth, the more at peace we become with the journey itself. In today's interconnected world, external validation is more accessible than ever. Through social media, online platforms, and constant communication, we can easily gauge how others perceive us, whether it's through likes, shares, comments, or simply being seen in the right circles. While this may seem harmless at first, it can become a dangerous cycle that robs us of our true sense of self and purpose. External validation can quickly shift our focus away from our internal motivations and desires. Instead of striving toward our own values and passions, we begin to work for the approval of others. This dependency on others' opinions can leave us feeling constantly unsettled. We might find ourselves second-guessing our decisions, altering our path, or compromising our beliefs just to fit into what we think is socially acceptable or desirable. In this way, the pursuit of external validation can dilute our authenticity. One of the dangers of seeking validation from others is that it places our worth in the hands of factors that are beyond our control. No matter how much effort we put in, we can never guarantee how others will perceive us. People's opinions are fickle and influenced by many factors that have nothing to do with who we are or what we stand for. When we allow these shifting opinions to define our self-worth, we become subject to a constant roller coaster of emotional highs and lows. If we feel unsatisfied, one moment we may feel on top of the world and the next we may feel insignificant, based solely on how others view us. The issue is, this reliance on external validation also leads to a distorted sense of success. Success becomes less about personal fulfillment and more about achieving something that others will admire or envy. When we measure our accomplishments by the praise or recognition we receive, we lose sight of the deeper meaning behind our work. We may reach our goals, but without the internal sense of satisfaction, the achievement will feel hollow. It becomes a mere trophy to display, not a genuine reflection of our growth or impact. Moreover, seeking constant validation from others can lead to a never-ending pursuit of approval. We may find ourselves endlessly chasing after the next compliment, the next acknowledgement, the next round of applause. This kind of pursuit can drain our energy, leaving us feeling empty even when we receive the validation we crave. It's a cycle that never truly satisfies because external validation is fleeting. But what may seem like a boost to our confidence in one moment may feel insignificant the next. The most insidious danger of external validation is that it can stifle our creativity and innovation. When we are consumed with the opinions of others, we may stop taking risks, stepping outside of our comfort zones, and doing what's truly authentic to us. We become more focused on pleasing others than on pursuing our own path. The pressure to conform and meet expectations can prevent us from exploring new ideas, trying unconventional methods, or expressing ourselves fully. And in trying to fit in, we lose the very essence that makes us unique. Thank you for being here, for your commitment to growth, and for your dedication to embracing the journey ahead. Let's make this year one of purpose, progress, and lasting impact.